shoulders stiffened and she sped up, forcing me to race walk down the carpet. Oops, I'd done it again. Too late, I recalled that Gretchen didn't like Bella, so any mention of Lance would salt the wound. She had gone out with Bella's ex-husband, Alan, for a while, and when they broke up, she blamed my friend, which was totally unfair. But I had learned that people were rarely rational in matters of the heart. "Have a seat," Gretchen ordered when we entered the tiny treatment room. She sat at a narrow desk that held a computer while I set down my handbag and climbed into the big chair. "What brings you here today?" Why do we always have to repeat medical information despite relaying the problem while making an appointment? With a sigh, I leaned back in the chair and studied the ceiling panels which displayed an aerial map of the Maine coast. "I lost part of a filling from a right bottom molar this morning while I was eating breakfast." Gretchen clicked keys, bringing up my chart and studying it. "You have one restoration in that quadrant." "That's it." I obediently opened my mouth when she came to take a peek. I also closed my eyes against the bright light she pulled down to shine right into my face. She studied my tooth for a long moment, and then I felt the heat of the lamp move away. "Dr. Pederson will be with you shortly." "Dr. Peter Pederson." "Oh, I usually have Dr. Oslo," I said, disconcerted by this news. "Dr. Peter is taking over the practice due to Dr. Oslo's pending retirement," she said, that snippy tone back in her voice. "We're gradually transferring all the patients over." That made sense, since Dr. Oslo was well into his 70s. He'd already seemed ancient to me when I'd started coming here. She bustled out, and I was left to wait, my anxiety building with every moment. Even staring at the map on the ceiling, trying to find landmarks, didn't calm me. I wanted the procedure to be over so I could get out of here, lollipop or not. Hope soared when I heard footsteps, but it was only Mrs. Oslo, clasping a sheaf of files in one arm. "Gretchen," she began, but seeing the hygienist wasn't there, she huffed and withdrew before I could ask where her son was. Finally, a tall man with cropped, dirty blonde hair and a goatee, dressed in a white coat, strode in, Gretchen right behind him. Dr. Pederson, I presume. He resembled his famous brother in height and facial structure, but while Lance dazzled the eye, the same features were merely ordinary on Peter. Until today, I hadn't really clued in to the fact that Dr. and Mrs. Oslo had another son. Every family picture in the office featured Lance. He peered at my chart, then at me. "Iris, I'm Dr. Pederson." Without waiting for an answer, he handed the chart to Gretchen, then reached for the lamp. "Open wide for me." I closed my eyes again, and so it began. After examining me with hums and muttered exclamations, he injected my gum with something that numbed the whole right side of my mouth. Saliva pooled immediately, and I prayed I wouldn't choke on my own spit. How often did that happen, I wondered. "So, Iris, where do you work?" He asked this and a variety of other questions I couldn't answer while he fiddled about, drilling and packing and probing. When I finally dared to open my eyes, they were both staring down at me with serious expressions. Why do dentists do that? "Am I okay?" I asked, trying to push myself upright. Dr. Pederson patted my shoulder. "You're fine. Lovely set of teeth." He handed me a piece of articulating paper. "Bite for me, please." Soon after, I staggered out into the sunshine, blinking, my mouth still numb and my bank account quite a bit lighter. Halfway across the parking lot to my car, I noticed Lance, shirtless and in shorts, rinsing down his Porsche with a hose. The Pedersons lived on the property, with the dentist's office in one wing of a huge colonial house. At the back of the paved area used for parking stood a former carriage house, now a 4-car garage. With a grin, he shut off the spray. "Hey, Iris. Beautiful day, isn't it?" I mumbled something, my lips still not working right. But between my mouth gaping open and the drool, I probably looked like 95% of the women he encountered. Trying to smile, I fumbled for the keys to Beverly, the white '63 Ford Falcon my late grandfather had restored for me. Lance whistled. "Nice car. Maybe you can take me for a spin sometime." My face flamed with heat, despite knowing that he was only being friendly. It wasn't his fault that he was sex on a stick, as my bestie Madison called him.